All right, you guys know I'm a big fan of fixed wireless access, 5G home internet, 5G broadband for the home, for the business. It's a great connectivity option. Give cable and fiber some competition. You know, a while ago, Dennis was on my show. Shout out to Dennis. We miss him, man. We haven't had him on a podcast in a while. We'll send him the invite next time. He was always concerned about capacity on networks that have fixed wireless access customers. His concern, which was valid in my opinion, was fixed wireless access customers were going to degrade and sap the networks of capacity and make that experience lesser for the mobile user. And I always respected that opinion and that concern. I think it is valid. But my level of concern was much lower than his. His seemed to be more urgent. Mine, much more subtle. I don't have an urgent concern about capacity for the carriers because it's so early in the game. Folks, they've got so much work to do that can bring more capacity to the network. There's going to be more bandwidth coming to the network. We're going to see better consumer premise equipment. We're seeing 10 gig fiber scale, so multi-gig fiber circuits. Networks are becoming more denser, more redundant, more overlap, right, between tower sites, grids getting tighter. We're seeing smarter network management tools, getting into a network slicing, right? All these different things. We haven't even gotten to 5G advanced yet, right? In terms of like the 3GPP standards. So I say all that to say this is I personally am not surprised to learn in this article that fixed wireless access is not slowing down networks. To my surprise, the networks are actually getting faster. All right, so that's where I think one would say that maybe they would be surprised, because I know I am, to learn that networks are faster even with fixed wireless subscribers. So let's check out the data. We let the data do the talking, right? All right, so, and you know what? Let me do this. Open image and new tab, just so we can look at it. And I'm going to just get me out of here for a second. You guys don't need me. All right, I'll be back. All right, T-Mobile and Verizon have observed steady increases in their mobile 5G download speeds since the launch of fixed wireless access. Okay, Q1 2021, first quarter of data on fixed wireless access subs reported by both T-Mobile and Verizon. Okay, first quarter 2021. We are now, second quarter 2024. So we're talking over 3 years in. Check out the mobile 5G download speed on T-Mobile, 59.7, right? 46.4 for Verizon. Increased the following quarter to 74.9 and 48.4 respectively. All right, let me see if I can make this a little bit larger. You guys can pinch to zoom on your side. If I follow every single quarter, I'm seeing 30% increases in speed, 40% increases in speed, 30% increase in speed, 50% increase in speed. I'm seeing massive leaps. You see the T-Mobile speed increases? They're huge. They're massive. Because T-Mobile has the bandwidth. And T-Mobile has started to scale the 10 gig fiber circuits. They're upgrading the network, more tower sites, right? They're starting to move LTE spectrum over to the 5G side, in which these, CPEs, the gateways they send to people's homes, now they're taking advantage of more spectrum. We do see a quarter where the speed did dip a little bit for T-Mobile. They went from 170.8 in Q1 of 22 to 169.8 in Q2 of 22. But then after that, you see speed increases again. 176, 189, 193, 195, 199, 205, 215. So if I'm just looking at T-Mobile as the situation, if I'm just following T-Mobile, I have no concerns about their capacity in the short term. Based on what trend? I'm seeing speeds increase. And it's because they continue to build their network bigger and stronger. More redundant, more significantly more capacitive. All right, let's look at Verizon speed. Much slower increase in speeds, right? You go from 46 to 48, 48 to 52, 52 to 57. You see a dip from 57.0 to 55.9. And then what happened in Q1 of 22? They got C-band, went live. It went from 55 to 67. And then you see a steady increase and improvement in speeds all the way through 2023. They break the century mark at some point in Q3 of 23, up to 116. Last quarter, 138.5 to 148.6. Huge leaps. And they just recently got all of their C-band, right? You guys remember that from last year, right? Where they got the rest of their bandwidth, clearance with the FAA. I have no concerns about Verizon. I have no concerns about T-Mobile right now. Why should I? Again, Verizon is going to densify their network. We know they're investing into small cells. They deploy mmWave. They are a fiber provider, right? The One Fiber program continues to be a point of strength for them. More and more tower sites are being upgraded and modernized. Remember, T-Mobile got the Sprint merger. They had a jump on 5G bandwidth access. About 2 years, right? Almost 3 years if you think about it, right? Because they kind of got the Sprint deal going in 2019. Everything was official in 2020. They basically built by themselves for a couple of years, right? So they kind of got to jump ahead. But I'm not comparing Verizon to T-Mobile in that respect. But I think probably in the next year, that national average, because we've already seen it on local numbers, right? If you look at metropolitan areas, you know, Verizon's download speeds in markets where they've basically finished the macro build for C-band, they're probably the fastest provider in like top 25, top 50 markets. T-Mobile's still very fast. It's nothing to sneeze at. T-Mobile's probably faster outside of the top 50 because they've built their network, you know, at a faster rate, you know, over the course of the last few years. Now Verizon's kind of catching up in those areas, and AT&T is too. You don't see AT&T on here, but their speeds are probably going to be the same like this. It's all relative to the build. I don't have concerns about T-Mobile. I don't have concerns about Verizon when it comes to the near term. They're both going to probably at some point really start investing in new CPE equipment. They're probably going to add more bandwidth to their network. They're going to densify their network. They're going to have small cells. There's going to be advanced 5G features for granular management. They're learning how to manage their network better. I don't have any concerns. The only people who have concerns about fixed wireless access, I think, is just on a limited number of cell sites. I think it's a localized issue in some cases. It's definitely not a national issue. The data just doesn't prove it. And I don't expect it to change anytime soon. I expect the networks to get faster in the near term. And in the long term, it's going to be very sturdy. It'll be very capacitive. I just don't have concerns at this time. I just don't. You might. And it might be valid for, you know, a few cell sites in your area. But I'm not concerned. I haven't seen it. I don't expect to see it anytime soon. It ain't happening in my market at all. Guys, I'm testing tower sites in Cleveland in the heart of the daytime with heavy usage. Tower sites that are doing 1.2 gigabits per second in the morning. They're doing 600-700 during the day. There's headroom. They could sell home internet to another 10 customers on those sectors. And I think this goes to show you that the proof of what the providers have been saying is that the mobile users have a certain time of day where they use the network, you know, and put the most strain on it. And then home internet users operate at a different time. And the shared access at different times of the day allows them to manage the network. It's going to guide up. T-Mobile's going to hit the 7 to 8 billion customers very soon. You know, they want to do it by 2025. They're going to do it. Verizon said they want to get to 4 to 5 million customers by 2025. They're going to get there. They're going to guide up. They're all going to guide up. AT&T is going to guide up because it works. They sell at a good price. It's competitive. People love the ability to just have a gateway sent to their house and not have a technician. right? No drilling, no special equipment, just the gateway you put by the window. And that's another thing. CBs are going to get better. I expect millimeter wave technology to be the next frontier for fixed wireless access. Sure, additional mid-band frequencies and things of that nature, but in the urban core and even in the suburban, if trees aren't an issue, I expect millimeter wave to make a huge comeback. Or I should say just proliferate in its usage patterns. Just seeing it on more macros, more rooftops, more small cells. I don't have concerns. I think phase 2 for fixed wireless access is going to be really awesome. The reliability, the quality, the uplink, the latencies, we're going to see huge improvements. It's just going to get better. I don't have any concerns about fixed wireless access, and I think some of that's a little bit misguided. It's probably situational at best. I don't think it's going to be a large-scale problem on a national scale anytime soon.